And he said to call Radek.
Can just wake up, but I sure as hell just got on duty.
Yeah.
Hey, I think okay, you know what? I don't even know why I waste my time calling you. Let's get in here. Okay, bye. What is that? Okay. Oh, so you're in jorts and you don't want okay, yeah, I'm not gonna say there's other people in here. Well, we're waiting for if you want to change, go change, because the cake, nobody wants to see your hairy ass thighs, okay? I don't know. I think that I don't know who's calling the meeting, if the mayor or the chief. I have no idea. It could be the chief. The chief's gonna be there too. Yeah, he fucked you out of PT. Yeah. In I don't know, this meeting room on the side. The file room. There's no files. The computer room. But there's computers that nobody used. The other side of the meeting room, like. No, Turner's having a moment. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe the guy's pooping. Let him poop. I need this to be somewhat confidential. The beginning part of this.
Well, how wouldn't it be?
Like more than usual.
Sorry, Mr. Mayor. I was about to go do some PT with TRT.
You're good.
Run.
Well, I don't know if this room is
soundproof. Well,
yeah.
I'll make it quick, and so I'm gonna ask that what I'm about to say, y'all keep close to the chest and work it without recognizing or without acknowledging that I am the one that brought it to you. After the end of this, and I don't want this conversation to last more than like maybe 5-10 minutes, is that do not reapproach me on this. I will see what I can do to advance it further.
Is this something you want trigger as well?
No.
Like him in?
I'm gonna. To be rather transparent, and you know, I don't trust him. With this. So once again, I'm gonna say my bit. Take it, run with it as you please. I will see if I can give you another line that you can reference. If but do not reapproach me on it. Do not mention I said this. Keep my name anonymous, please. I went to the Pred case yesterday. As I do with most cases. And this was in regards to the seizure of his of the fucking the fucking rocket pack or whatever the fuck it is. Okay. While standing there and awaiting Pred, I noted that 4 out of the 5 justices were sitting on the side.
I'll call you right back.
That, in addition to that, more than half of the sitting judges. This immediately raised eyebrows, and I was already losing my mind. Underlinedly, because we do not know what the next step is going to look like. Where McNee, a sitting justice, if it turns out, and I, quite frankly, Pred could have made the argument, McNee may not even be somebody that could have oversaw this due to him having signed the original raid warrant on Pred and the active court case against them, etc., etc. So already my defense lawyer mind's like, these guys are immediately conflicting themselves.
I'm sorry. I'll just there.
Yeah. Reddish, please.
Fires me up there.
It's very important.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
So immediately I'm very frustrated because this is a ex-mayor. Say you love him or hate him, ex-mayor. Even if you put someone else there, how is 4 out of 5 of the members of the judiciary in that room alongside the majority of the active judges? Right? Like, this is already a fucking huge problem. As we wait for Pred, I overhear Arcadia with Ventura right next door, openly discussing some active case or two and how, like, the case is bullshit and how it's going to end up like going not guilty, etc., etc. Y'all are about to get fucked on some court case, and they fucking predetermined that shit. And even if it was one or two of those motherfuckers that predetermined it, yet a justice literally just spouting her opinion about it to all of them. So I, quite frankly, am extremely triggered after hearing that, not just for y'all, but quite frankly, any other person that goes into that courtroom and expects a fair hearing. I will say the following, that there are individuals whom I will not name that are that heard the entire conversation, and I am going to likely be getting some sort of whistleblower act in so as their career does not get ruined, and bring this up publicly. So I don't know what court case they were talking about. I suspected something recent, and it sounded like they already fucking made their call before it's even been presided on. So take that for what you will. I'll give you guys like 2-3 minutes for any follow-up questions, after which I'd like to drop this until I can get you some witnesses.
What?
Okay. So to just make sure I understand, she had already reviewed a case and is saying that we're essentially screwed on this case. So they made essentially a decision as to what's going to be the outcome of this case before it's even been heard.
Yes, correct.
Evidence is being reviewed.
Correct. And even in the event it was only one or two of them, that entire opinion was shared with all the rest of. She just conflicted all of them. I will say, one thing I will say is that whatever it is, Ventura is involved, and so I forgot what the word is. It's what is it? In parte was completely broken. Like it was some case that Ventura is also a prosecutor on. So he stood there, not on Ventura, right? He's just standing around, and she's just yapping, right? So I don't know what this is about, but it is some of the most egregious foul play I think I've ever witnessed, and quite frankly, it leaves me. I was rather stun-locked as to what I was witnessing. So, and the sitting judge was there apparently, the one that's presiding over the case. Yeah. So
how is that okay?
It's not okay. It's actually so extremely cooked. I don't even know what to say.
You don't know what case it is, though?
I'm looking over the docket to try and figure out if I can get an idea.
Right, see if we can figure out what case it is.
Yeah, it's I can ask.
Is it Arnold's case?
Give me a second. I spoke to a judge on it yesterday. Hold on.
About this situation?
Ventura's not on the docket for the Benny one. I just looked.
Hello.
Remember yesterday that shit the fucking justices sitting around and talking about what was that?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what case that was? I want to be very clear here. This isn't getting out.
Yeah. The case was either, because there's two cases Sean took. I think it's probably, however, the People versus Barry Benson.
Okay.
That's my educated guess,
Okay.
right? Based on the fact that said people were being held until trial. It's either that one or Benny Razor, and I think it's
held
the
until
People versus. Yeah, I think it's basically the People versus Barry Benson et al.
Okay. All right. Because of the Ventura thing, right?
Yeah, because of the judge, the prosecutor, and the fact that
already
people are being held
know.
until trial. That's my educated guess, right? Because they didn't specifically say the name, but context clues give it away, right?
Easy. Michael is here today, by the way. I think we should try to chat when we can.
Okay, cool.
I want to talk about some kind of like whistleblower shit that makes sense and doesn't screw over organizations.
Yeah.
All right. Easy.
Yeah, I'm down for a conversation. Just let me know when you've got some free time.
All right. We'll do.
Cool.
Wait.
Okay. Be safe. Bye.
No, Arcadia is not the sitting The sitting
It is likely the
justice.
people versus Barry Benson or Benny
Barry
Razel.
So Ventura's not on the
Yeah.
Benny Razor one, so I'm thinking it's Benson. Let me load.
Yeah.
That case is scheduled for tonight,
It's-
by the way.
It's whatever has
What?
a hold. It has to do with holds. Has Ventura as a prosecutor, and from a credible source, they're saying it's either the Benny Razor case or
It's Barry
the
Benson.
Benson et al. So
On Razor, it's Ventura's not listed, but here in the Benson one, he's listed as one of the prosecutors along with Aaron Carter.
Wait,
Yeah.
so what is Arcadia's position in this? Just she was just talking to him about it. She's not overseeing it, right? Or is she?
they actively discussed their opinion on a court case that has not been presided on 4 out of 5 of the judges, one of the prosecutors, and multiple judges, including one that's presiding over the case before the case has even been opened. So,
So is something being done about this today before the case happens today?
I am telling you what I know. I don't know what to do, quite frankly.
I mean, Arcadia is the top of the DOJ, right?
One
of them.
alongside the 5. Yes.
Right. Okay.
That's fucking crazy. Everybody
So-
has to answer to somebody.
So
Let me ask you this then, there, Nino.
Mhm.
What do you believe we should do about this?
I think you make note of this. Use what I said as guidance for keeping your eyes and ears open. Please do not share what I said to you, as this is a very sensitive matter, and I want to explain why.
Mhm.
This goes beyond just this case, right? And those that are making note of this, if it gets out, it's going to make it more difficult for them to be able to point these things out in the future. After this, I'm immediately meeting with Michael, and we are going to be talking about a way to whistleblow appropriately.
Holy.
Yeah,
so
it's
this
I
was like-
genuinely do not know, because I have, this is the equivalent to, like, if I found out, like, Turner's been selling guns, like, you know what I mean, like out of the armory and on Twitter. You know what I'm saying? It's like, well, what you know what I'm saying? At least with that, you can easily just, so I don't know, that's a bad comparison, to be
Taking
honest.
bribes to let people go, essentially.
Yeah,
Equivalent.
I don't know if I'd even make that comparison.
Bribes.
Quite frankly, I don't think they recognize what they're doing is the reality of it. It's I don't know. I'm stun locked. So I'm trying to find the right way to handle this, because quite frankly, like, what do you do at that point, right? Like, it's not like, you know, like, even if I were to go up and expose all this, right? They could just be like, well, they didn't say that. There's nothing wrong with that. You get what I'm saying? So that's what makes it. I don't know the solution
she's good at
yet.
talking her way out of all kinds of shit anyway.
The reality of the matter is that there are a number of impeachment attempts for the entire DOJ that are currently happening simultaneously. But the problem is, a lot of people are afraid to do it. 2, it's a lot of work. 3, it puts a target on your back and can completely destroy your career, right?
Yeah.
So, but anyways, keep this in the back of your mind going into it. Do with it as you please. Do not bring up my name. Do not mention. In fact, I wouldn't even mention that I told you this. Just have it in the back of your mind that this kind of thing is happening, and I will
You
do what I
overheard
can to try to resolve this.
Okay. Are there any other people that could have
Yeah.
overheard it? If we bring it up, they're
Right.
gonna look at who was around them.
Yeah,
I
we
would
don't-
not bring it up at this stage, because if you do, I think there will be victims that are going to be targeted. It's not.
Getting a fair trial.
He's not.
So how are we supposed to be okay knowing he's not getting a free trial? I'm
It's today.
It's today, right? Is that what you said, Roddy?
Yes.
What time?
That's what I'm
Tonight at.
saying. So we know that the prosecutor is speaking with the justice about the case.
No. I want to be clear here. Me and Ventura have a lot of beef. He did not approach the justices. She just started yapping. They're there for something else, and she's in the middle of the court. I was on the side of the defense. They were all in that like corner section where the judges, and I could hear it all.
That courtroom is
10
so
Eastern,
bad.
by the way.
Yeah.
Jesus.
So, let me cook. But like I said, if you bring this
I
up,
just feel bad for him. I'm not saying anything anybody. I just feel bad for him that he's not getting a fair trial. That's fucked.
the
Talking about Ventura?
No, the guy that's fighting the defense.
Right.
What kind of defense?
I mean, the whole situation is terrible because that means it's going both ways, right?
Yes.
Or
She
defend
pretty
him for
much said that
prosecution.
these people should not go to jail no matter what. I don't fucking know, bro. I don't fucking know. I genuinely, the entire thing needs to be burnt down. It's just the reality.
She's saying it shouldn't be like he shouldn't even be going to jail for the charges.
Who's the presiding judge?
I believe it's Danielson. I haven't looked at it. I'm going off of what I overheard and what my phone call just now.
Who's the presiding judge there? Radich, do you still have that up?
Yeah.
I think he's a good judge. I feel like he's one of the fairest that I've met.
Yeah, it's Sean Daniels.
Except if his boss literally stood there and said this case
Which
should
I
go
don't.
out.
I'm just gonna say I have very little respect for her, for how she handles shit.
I
And
will
that's
say
what
this,
I'm gonna say.
actually, I will say that I did pull a particular justice aside and I asked him directly, what the fuck was that? Why did you not say anything? And his answer was, and I'm paraphrasing, I'm a pussy. Like he himself. Like I don't remember what he yapped, but that was kind of the conclusion of what he said. I'm like, you have a voice. You can say something, right? You know this is wrong. It was, so let me cook, but I wanted you guys to have this heads up.
Wow. I just feel bad. I'm not gonna say anything. I just feel bad that people, prosecution's basically gonna be shut down, right? Before it even happened. I don't know. I don't understand it.
Well,
Hope we figure
keep
it
our
out.
ear to the ground. See if this turns into something further.
Yeah.
Or progresses any further, and if you have any sort of instruction as to any guidance, I'm more willing to hear it.
Absolutely. There's a couple options I'm looking to weigh, and that's why I'm going to pull Michael aside, and we're going to start weighing it and see what it can do immediately.
All right.
So, all right.
Also, quick question here. I was looking last night at the search and seizure legislation. It states nothing about providing a raid receipt or any sort of inventory. Is that intentional?
You should. There's a couple things that are could use some highlighting. I'm going to use as an example, no member of law enforcement, despite me knowing it has happened and probably continues to happen, luckily it's not within the LSPD, have likely been using listening devices that goes against a constitutional right to privacy. So tapping into phone calls as law enforcement is inherently illegal. The only people that have that ability are going to be a DOC. Those devices, mind you, do not have any form of recording. So if you find magically a button on there to start recording, that can't be happening. But so it's not explicitly written. You cannot do that, but it is underlinedly illegal because, everything is always going to be scoped back to the referenced legal material. In this case that we're talking about, the Constitution. Now, a raid receipt, while it may not be written here, should be still provided. And a big part of that comes into the argument of like due process, right? So could it be written out? Sure. But it would probably fall under like the right to information, right? The right to a free trial and due process. And so like inherently, like if you were to raid someone without documenting it, you would be effectively preventing a fair trial and due process to be enacted, as all that stuff that was seized is evidence, right?
Yeah, I think it should
Absolutely.
be in legislation,
I'm,
but
so-
it's
I'm
not.
not saying. I'm saying it should be in there. We should be providing
but
those.
it's not. So by like legally, yeah. I mean, yes, we should and we do. But I'm saying if somebody fucked up and didn't do it in 24 hours, what are they suing us for? It's not in legislation.
No, I'm not even. I'm purely talking about. I was looking at search warrants last night and subpoenas that were filed.
Mhm.
I was reading over them, looked at some of the inventories, and I wanted to see what the time frame was, and noticed it wasn't in legislation. It doesn't have to do with any specific case.
I got you.
So-
Yeah, it's not. And I think I brought this up before. I don't think it's. I think it is. Isn't it 72 hours for the raid
72
receipt?
for.
That's
Well,
what
no, not raid receipt, for search warrant.
Let me
presented.
No, I think it's- I
let's
don't
do
think it's
this.
24 hour.
Let's
Is
do
it?
this. There are a lot of areas
72.
that definitely could use some upgrading, let's call it, because while I would still argue that a like raid receipt is needed inherently, it being very clear in legislation is a good thing for everybody.
I
It
think
sets a
it
very
needs to be
clear line.
72 as like the you have 72 hours to notify them unless it's delayed notice. I think it needs to go with that, because if it is delayed notice, then same thing, right?
Yeah, they both get delivered at the same time.
Because
be fine.
right, and especially
Or
if
if
it's a
they're present.
large raid, it might take a while to do the receipt. I mean, that's probably super rare, right? But like I sent Snow his receipt within the 72 hours.
Right. If we're expected to notify within 72, we should also be able to notify the
Yeah.
inventory of the search warrant
Yes.
once executed.
Yeah, I
within
think it should be
72.
in there. I think I remember trying to defer to this, and there was nothing. So it was kind of like a back and forth, and I think I even called a judge about it. And they just said no. I think it was Angel said just that they needed to get it, but it wasn't written. So
Fair enough. I'll just bring it to your attention. I don't know if that's something you want to.
Yeah. I would say if you guys want to propose a change, please, feel free to send me the verbiage. It's something we can look into. Just transparently, we have so much on our plate that it just comes down to prioritizing. I would say internally, per your SOPs and whatnot, you should handle it with the 72-hour time frame internally to protect yourselves. So,
Yep, absolutely. Good deal.
all right. Oh yeah. Okay.
We're all good here.
Yeah. And
yes.
I'm gonna, for what it's worth, and also, actually, you know what? I'm gonna keep it to myself for now. So
I will. I'll make sure to attend that trial tonight and just observe.
easy. All right, Michael, we gotta go cook. Anything else?
Oh, we're good.
No, nothing from me.
All
Thank
right,
you.
easy. Y'all take care.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks,
You guys have a
guys.
good one.
Have a good one.